Well, g'day to all my mates out there in YouTube land. Well, last week it was that time again to go into immigration and to get my visa extension. Now, most of you guys would know by now there is no 6 months extension. There was about a year ago. They've put it just to 2 months now. So that's it. You can do 1 month or you can do 2 months. So obviously most people who want to stay are doing the 2 months extension. Also, once a year you have to apply for what's called an ACR card. So that's a identification card that you keep with you, which is quite handy at times because you don't have to carry around your passport if you want to hire a bike or for whatever other identification. So that's due every 12 months. Now, the thing is, when you do your 2 months extension, now I didn't know this and I did get caught out. So you've got to go at least 10 days to 2 weeks before your expiry date on your visa. If you don't, if you go within like 3 or 4 days, they'll put on there what's called a express, which is it's another 1,000 peso because they didn't have time to process your visa. So you go in at least say 10 days before your expiry date on your visa, and you pay what's called a regular. So that's about, I think it's running out about 1,800 peso for the 2 months extension. So guys, make sure you go in a couple of weeks early so that you don't get slammed with this extra 1,000 peso. So it brings you up to about 2,800 just for being basically what they consider being a late registration. So that's for your 2 months. I did hear some talk about they're reviewing the 3-year maximum term of stay. That's not from the immigration. That was just some talk I heard around town. I don't know. I don't think they would. It's not really in their interest to do so. But you know, it'd be quite expensive if you had to get out of the country every year. A lot of guys do. A lot of guys, we probably wouldn't even worry them because they tend to go somewhere once a year. But at this stage, it's still, you have a maximum of 3 years that you can stay. You do have to now, which again is been on a lot of channels. They have, instead of asking you verbally why are you staying here for an extension, there's actually a little comment box now that you write down your reasons why you're staying here, and that can be anything now from just you know, I love the country, I love the people, I want to travel around, there's so many islands and things to do. So that's not too hard, and I don't know personally of anybody that's been denied getting their extension from any of the comments that they've left there. So give yourself a bit of time. Most times I've gone to immigration, it's a pretty straightforward process. The security guy there is very helpful. I'm talking about Dumageddon, and he'll help you with the application. And I'm sure, you know, most of you guys that have been here a while, you know the gig. But for you guys that have just landed, or you know, you're going into it the first time, this is probably more advantage for you for the information. You have to excuse all the chickens and goats. I'm just up here in the province at the mount. So yeah, that's just something to take into consideration. So be there a couple of weeks before your expiry date. So every 12 months you need to extend your identification or ACR card. Now that, with the extension, with the 2 month extension, it ran out at nearly 6,000 peso. I think it was 5,700. and they'll tell you that you leave your passport there, you pay your money, and then they'll tell you what date to come back to pick your passport up, and any change out of, so if you give them 6,000 and you know it's 557 whatever, they'll give you your change and your passport back when you return to pick your passport up. I went to get my passport, but the ACR card wasn't quite ready, so I've got to go back in about another week or so and pick that up. But that's good for 12 months, so, you know, and as I say, it is handy to carry that around rather than your passport all the time. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward process. I haven't really done the maths whether or not doing it 2 months term is more expensive, or maybe slightly, than the 6 months, but it's just the convenience of not having to go in every 2 months and reapply for your extension. That's where the 6 months was quite handy. I spoke to JR from JRC about this time last year. I did an interview with him. You can look back on that, it'll be somewhere in there. And he seemed to think that this was a temporary thing because they were trying to get everything computerized and get more things done online. But to now, there's still no 6 months extension, so only 2 months or 1 month. And make sure when you go in there, you actually tick the regular box, right? Not express. If you say express, then you think, oh, that's just that it's going to be quicker. They will charge you more. All right. So just go regular. Get there a week or so, at least a week, if not 10 days before your expiry date, and you're good to go. So that's about it for the update of immigration. It's quite easy to find. Normally what I do is I go along the Esplanade, the boulevard, and you'll come across Honeycomb. If you go up that side street and you go over a couple of major streets, it's in a little laneway, a little corridor just to the right. So ask around, anyone will be able to point you in the right direction. Most of the tricycle drivers will know where it is. So that's about it. That's the update. I've been a bit slack lately. I haven't been putting out a lot of content. There's a few things coming up that I'll probably release maybe next week. I've got a Miss Valencia Ballabog pageant to go to tonight, I think it is. So, and then of course we've got Chinese New Year coming up. Sorry, I think that's the 29th. So be interesting to see what sort of night we have with all that. All right. I hope everybody's well. Take care. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. So have a great day, guys, and thanks for tuning in. Take care.